Coffee in hand. Yes, welcome back. Saturday morning. A cold Saturday morning. I think for most of us, the winter has hit. Definitely over in my mom's neck of the woods. She was telling me that the highs were like 50. So she's been over there in Northern California, there where she's at. They've been hitting some pretty low numbers. Out here this way, we're still looking like we're experiencing a little bit of the like I guess 70 on the high on the days. And some people that's like, dude, they're like, my God, that's still warm. I don't mind that so much. I don't mind it if the day warms up a little bit, and then of course the mornings at night it's pretty cool. I would say for the most part the morning stays pretty cool. And the night starts to definitely taper down, at least cold enough for me. Where I wake up in the mornings, and if the house starts to become, where the house is like 60 degrees, well, good enough for me. Anyway, I'm happy with it. As you guys know, I like cold weather anyway. Not complaining. It beats the heck out of 110. But anyhow. Also, I wanted to do a couple of things before we get started here, before we get rolling. If you saw the Thanksgiving video, you're probably wondering what was the deal with that. Why is it called the failed Thanksgiving video? Well, let me tell you something. That video was supposed to be for you folks on Thanksgiving. That's what I intended it to be. Well, here's what happened. Upon putting together a bed frame before Thanksgiving, the bed frame that I was putting together crushed the card reader out of the computer, because the computer is in the bedroom where I was putting the bed frame together at. So yeah, it literally sheared the whole card reader right off the USB port. All right. So what I did do immediately after that happened, I got on Amazon and I ordered a card reader that was supposed to be delivered the next day. All right, so I got it and I was like, okay, there it is. And I even added some extra things that I needed for the house anyway, just to make it to where I could get it delivered the following day, the next morning. Well, I thought everything was fine and dandy. Didn't need to worry about it. That way I could, the next day being Thanksgiving, I could just upload the video and for you folks at night, for anybody that was wanting to hang out with Thanksgiving here on the channel. Anyway, so I got the package later that Friday evening or whatever, and busted the thing out in the morning or whatever. Or actually, no, I think it was supposed to be delivered on Thanksgiving morning. That's right. Yeah, no joke. It was supposed to be delivered Thanksgiving morning. That was what was going on. So I opened it up, and the card part that you can tell I'm computer savvy. The part you put into the computer was like the micro size. Didn't really think that they would do something like that. Well, they do. So couldn't do nothing there, and nothing was open. So that's how that went. So anyway, I ended up I went back through on Amazon. I looked through and got, because I needed one anyway, and got a proper card reader and everything with the proper USB port. So that's what happened there. Anyway, also, if you did see that video or if you did not see that video, we are actually taping this show with the new Canon camera for us, courtesy of Crazy Scotsman. So thank you, Crazy Scotsman, for sending it along. That dude just helps out so many of us. We're in such a small community here, and somehow I am very lucky to be a part of it and blessed to be a part of it. We have such a awesome community, you folks that are actually currently watching this as well and tune in every Saturday morning to my show, and obviously you watch all the other guys that are coming around with our little niche. There's a little niche of us that all stick together, that we've all kind of started around the same time. And there is a handful of us that we've stuck together all these years. I mean, I'm going on 11 years. Some of them gone on longer. Yeah, I think even like Don over there at TAB Videos. He's been doing this for like 14 years or something like that. You got Greg, Lion Quest Fitness, LED 8541, Real Cobra Burnout, obviously Crazy Scotsman, my friend, the gun enthusiast. We don't know what happened to 504 Dirt Dart. That guy used to be really influential in putting everybody together. So, I mean, these are just a few that I can remember. Obviously, we lost a lot of them, unfortunately. You know, Ed USAF, Mr. Holster. I saw that Crazy Scotsman was doing some stuff for C-Max Arms and stuff like that. You know, there's so many of us that, in a sense, that, you know, we're in that community. I know I just said that we're a small niche, but we're not these multi-million subscriber count channels. You know, we're just this little family that got together and stuck together for all these years. So really cool. And you know, Crazy Scotsman's definitely done a lot by tying everything together, especially things for like Mr. Holster. I always mention that because I think Mr. Holster touched a lot of us when he was here doing his channel, his sock show and everything like that, myself included. So anyhow, to the comments here we're going to read. So hopefully you like the new camera. We're, you know, tinkering around with a lot of different stuff. The other camera was actually sent to us by him as well, because I've actually gone through a few cameras. I used to have a Sony, or not a Sony, this is the Sony. The Canon that we were using, the other Canon was a white Canon camera. That was courtesy of, I carry one, duh, including the lighting we're using. Because in the early days when I was doing the YouTube channel, I used a Samsung Handycam like this. I had two of them. Used them for years. I loved it because you could actually edit and bring the videos together right there on the camera. You could actually splice the footage together. I'm not sure. I'm still tinkering around with this one, but anyway, that one broke, and then I ended up with this one, but I wasn't. It was great. It worked great, but I wasn't happy with the resolution. It's a little bit old, so the resolution wasn't that great on it. And you know, with these days, everything is so Crazy Scotsman sent me this one, which is a wonderful little camera. It's got a flip-up screen and everything, so you can make sure you're in frame and watching. So, by the way, I don't have that on this one, but I think I did a test run last night, and it worked out pretty good. And Scotsman obviously was rolling with it for a while, so yeah. Hey, look, we got the same quality video from his past videos. Anyway, this is a great camera. I personally was not the most satisfied with the audio, but it was good. I don't know enough about this stuff to spend a whole crap load of money on them, because they are a crap load of money for the really good ones. But, you know, I carry one did tell me, he's like, you know, if you're going to be doing this, you got to kind of at least bite the bullet. He does own one of the big expensive ones too. I might have to go and pick his brain a little bit on the phone about that. But anyhow, there we are. There you are, Saturday morning. All right, let's go ahead and read the comments. That is the news and update on the Thanksgiving video and why it's called the failed Thanksgiving video. And we did the unboxing of this camera right here that we're using right now. All right, this one here, the first comments up is from MVB. And this one here is awesome collection of snubs. We love your channel. Wheel Guns rock. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the love for the channel. And this one here is from Joe P, my man Joe P. Swig of coffee for Joe. Good morning. Oh man, wouldn't it be fun to have Cody on the show again? Yeah, if you know that guy, you never know what he's doing. Some of you that go really far back with me on the other channel that we used to do this hangout thing, you know what we're talking about. And that's what this is. I mean, I don't know, 10 years ago, this mug been hanging around. I love it when you bring out the old hangout coffee mug, and that's what this is, right? It takes me back to the early years, all the fun videos in Hawaii. Those are some fun times in Hawaii, man. That's where this channel started. I was actually just talking to Crazy Scotsman about this last night. we were going back and forth about that a little bit, and how things have changed, and obviously they do change. It's going to change, but man, we did some wild and crazy videos. We did some crazy stuff that we filmed, and some of that stuff actually, I do recall some of it was like, even we stopped and was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we can. And this was back when you almost could do anything. You could almost darn near show anything and say anything. We had some awesome help during a lot of that by a lot of people. Bad Man Bullets was helping us out. But a lot of that crazy content that we were doing, the stuff that you at least saw, like if you recall the Halloween ghost hunting type video we did, where the zombie heads, the ghost heads, all that stuff, where we're blowing up these big party balloons and filling them with black paint and water and shaking them up and shooting them. We were expecting them to blow up, but it really didn't work out that way. But there was a lot of other crazy stuff. And but my friend, my good buddy Scotty was involved heavily in a lot of that wacky videos and stuff. His ideas that were coming out that we used to do, putting pistols in pancake syrup and fried chicken mix and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that was a lot of it was his idea. Of course, we had a huge property to do this stuff on. We had this huge coffee land to our disposal to just run amok and just do crazy stuff. And so that was what it was. It was like we spent the remaining of the week planning everything out. And he'd call me up and tell me, hey, this is look, I got this ideas and this and this and this. So, and then we would just do it. We would just start filming it. And then we had 3 days to film stuff, and we would just 3 consecutive days nonstop. We were just filming all kinds of outlandish stuff. So anyway, that's where all that comes from. So it was good times. It was a lot of fun. It really was. All right, World Traveler says Lou Horton 3-inch is a hand cannon. Is a hand cannon. I have the Lou Horton 3-inch 629 version. Only 5,000 of each were made that year. I did not know that. I knew they were rare. I didn't know how rare. They are stupid money, though. I think somebody actually mentions that. They're more money than I'm willing to throw down for one these days. I was lucky enough to kind of pretty much pick a couple of mine up for before I guess the prices started creeping up to the like 2,000, 2,500, something like that. Cap here, good to see a table full of guns. Very nice collection there. All of those are keepers. It's extra special when they come from family. Take care, enjoy them often. I do. Yeah, very special when they come from family, especially my uncle's gun. You know, I wouldn't care what it is. It came from him. I can't get rid of that thing. Just the thought of never seeing it again. Although I've done that with a lot of other guns, and it's sad because it's like, man, I'll never see them again. I really wish I would have kept some of them, but a lot of them did go. Jeffrey Richardson, beautiful group of snubbies. I just picked up a Taurus 445-44 Special Stainless. Ooh, that's cool. I used to have something like that. I don't remember what it was. It was a 44 Special, and it was a lightweight one. It was a Taurus. Had it. I did some videos with it. I did. That was very early in the channel days, and then I ended up selling it. That's another really cool gun I should have kept all those years back. Used to have a Cimarron coach gun. I don't even think you can get those anymore. It was dual hammers. Cody's got my Norinco 97. God, I would bug him all the time to sell that back to me. All right, Slim Fire. Hey, JW, I'm late to the show. Better late than never, Slim. But I'm glad you're here. I was out of town for Thanksgiving. Good for you. Safe travels, right? I hope. Awesome group of revolvers and a great story about your uncle giving you that revolver. Yes. That was, my Uncle Mo was something special, man. We hung out a lot. We did a lot of cool stuff together. A lot of fun things that we did. I'll never forget building that dog kennel. Man, that was a riot. Crazy Scotsman. I am big on snub revolvers. I only have a couple at the moment, but I do intend on more somewhere down the road. It is amazing how some states have so many hoops to go through just to exercise it right. That 29 Lou Horton special is awesome, a great find. Yeah, that one was definitely, because like I talked about it, I only saw pictures of those. I didn't actually ever see one. I barely knew the fact that they did that. All right, Bohemian Hunting Club. Just when you think you're done, there's another step. Yeah, there's always something to be done. DB, top of the morning. And top of the morning to you, DB. Fire 1's 777. Those Lou Horton grips alone bring crazy money. They do, if you know what he's talking about. The grips on that Lou Horton are whatever. I call them the banana grip, but it does. It brings a ridiculous amount of money. All right, Sean Lee, morning, y'all. Wow, what a spectacular table of snubbies. If you could only keep one, which would it be? Have a nice weekend. Probably the pre-model 10. It's kind of unfair because, Uncle's gun is Uncle's gun. It's hard to think that you get rid of something like that. But if we weren't talking about sentimental, probably the pre-model 10 would have to be my keeper, because I remember that's what really started a lot of things for me. Sorry about the dog barking in the background. I just can't help that, he's just doing what the dog does. Anyway, Brett, from my research, snubbies and micro compact semi-autos were never meant to be a main weapon, but more of a backup. I like snubbies for walking my dogs in the yard. Speaking of dogs, at night, because we live in the country, and there's always something walking around or slithering around. Yeah, absolutely. Revolvers have their place. I've always loved them. Can't get around that. Marcio says, good morning from Brazil. That's pretty cool. All the way from Brazil. I always watch your videos, and I think today is the first time I'm commenting. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear from you. Glad to hear folks from Brazil watching the show. That's pretty awesome. You have a beautiful collection of revolvers. Congratulations. I'd like to know if you do use a revolver for self-defense or a semi-automatic. And what model would that be? A Brazilian hug. Well, thank you, man. A big hug from us to you in Brazil. We appreciate your following and everything and checking us out. What I do for my defensive stuff is a Glock. I know. But yeah, my defensive gun is Glock 17. I trust my life with Glock. Mainly because I've got a lot of mileage with them over the years. I did not like them when I first got a hold of them. But that is my go-to, mainly because I've seen what it can do. I've seen the reliability of it. I've seen heavy round counts through it. So it is just my experiences and my interpretation on what I've seen, and that's why I roll with it. But yeah, my go-to is Glock 17. Because you got 17 rounds in a mag, 1 in a pipe. All right. Squib, 1911. Not sure where we were, but we did, the camera shut off on me. But I think you were talking about Old Tucson Studios, Squib, and you were taking a trip out there. So hopefully I think we're catching up where we left off. But anyway, like I was talking, I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but my buddy did a movie out there. If you want to check it out, it's called Long Shadow. And it's kind of cool because if you know the layout of the place, it is kind of neat to see that movie. And you can see some of the stuff they cheated and everything. So anyway, all right, awesome stuff. We're going to talk about, before we head out of here, a couple of things. One thing I wanted to talk about addresses because, hey, look, Joe, this is a vintage Model 29. Yep. Hammer-mounted firing pin, pinned and recessed, 6.5, the true Dirty Harry gun, original grips. Y'all, and and nothing beats the vintage ones. You know, they really are something special. They're cool. The fit and finish and everything like that is certainly really, you know, really nice. The finish on this is really awesome. Now, in comparison to the ones made now, you know, the bluing and everything. Okay, I mean, here's where I'm going to talk about this a little bit briefly. It's what I think is when the bad mouthing on these come from, and this is where I'm coming from because I actually own one now, and I've shot it a bunch, and I've shot where a lot of this came from is my new Python. I've shot the snot out of that thing, and that thing is still tight. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I wouldn't trade my new Python for an old one, for 5 old ones. And if I did, I'd probably sell all 5 and go buy a couple of the new ones and 2-3 cases of ammo. But anyway, where I think a lot of it, the things that I guess get kind of thrown out there in the discrimination on these is I really think it's all about the appearance. Because, you know, I mean, you know, you could say that's a little smoother, but really, that also you got to remember, you know where also that comes from? This is an older gun. This is a 1971 gun. This was probably made within the last 7 years. So, and it's brand new. I'm the first owner. I'm the first owner to own it. I bought it brand new. So I have not fired it enough to probably wear it in, to where all those parts start to get marriage together. This one has. This one's lived its life for, since 1971. Who knows how many people own this? Who knows how many people have fired it or shot it or anything like that? Sure, is there certain aspects that probably there was a lot more quality care, if you will, that were spent making them back in the day? They probably spent a little bit more time hand working. That is a product of having to do that, because they didn't have CNC machinery to precisionally make things as precise as they do now. So there is that aspect. So that became a product of, they kind of had to. They didn't really have much of a choice not to, in a sense of doing that. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, because I'm not bashing the old ones. My God, I love the old ones. I love the vintageness of the old ones. But at that same token, not particularly in this case, but some people some people don't have access to some of these older ones. They can't get the older ones. Some people like myself, I don't have the finances anymore to buy these. These things have gotten stupid money, stupid prices. I just don't. So for me, these are, you can find these for the $900 in some cases in the stores, and that is doable. I can, manage that. So there is that. Also, you get into that point where the new Pythons or whatever, they're in the store, and people they want to pick things apart. I understand that to an extent. I also think that part of it is the price. Yeah, they're not cheap. So, you don't hear somebody picking apart a $600, run-of-the-mill, $500 run-of-the-mill polymer gun too much, because it's $500. So, and just kind of adding some of that out there. You get quality, you want nice stuff, you get. So for where I'm coming from, for what I'm happy with this thing. I love this thing. I take it out, I shoot it. I enjoy having this one. It's really nice. Would I still shoot it? Yeah. Maybe I might want to just feel truly vintage that day and shoot it. Yes, I would. I probably will shoot more specials out of it. But this one here, I don't mind shooting a little bit of magnums through that. In fact, I think that's shot more magnums than specials, that's for sure. So there is that. The other thing I wanted to show you before we get out of here is check this out. I don't know how often this one's made it on the channel. This is a little Rossi. This is the last pump gun I've got. I have sold off all the other ones. And kind of, you know, in a sense, you kind of wish you did, wish you didn't. They still make these. They don't look quite like this anymore. But they're still around. I like the Rossi. I had a Winchester. I sold it. I kind of prefer the Rossi. This one here I've always kept because look how short it is. This is a 16-inch barreled one. It's a carbine. I think it's called the 62. They call it a SAC, slide action. Yeah, so this one's called the slide action carbine. That's what that stands for, I believe so. This one shoots 22 shorts, longs, and long rifle because it has the cartridge stop in it. Some of them don't. So if you're into looking for these, check it out and see if they have a cartridge stop. You can tell if it does or not by if that is, of course, you got to ask permission from the shop, or you can just read it right there. It'll tell you. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. But anyway, if you actually want to know, you'll see this little gizmo in the lifter, and you'll see it there. It's got like this little lever right there. I don't have any kind of pointer or something to make it actuate. But yeah, it's got this little gizmo right here that kind of puts it up there and it stops the cartridge. And this is where the cartridge goes in there to be, loaded into the chamber. So it's got that. And, obviously the biggest way to tell is, obviously reading the barrel and the cartridge. Duh. Anyway. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and everything, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Crazy Scotsman, for this, and I'm going to see how this tape rolls out.